Once again, ladies and gentlemen, back again, once again, at the mother of all colonial bullshit, white supremacy and genocide. Here we go. Now here's an interesting one, isn't it? Trump, i.e. United States, white supremacy, colonialism, uniting with the Moscow Putin leadership and Britain across the world? Well, nothing new. You know, back nearly 10 years ago, actually it was just over here, you can see in this tower where Russia Today was based, RT. I used to go on it for my sins. I had a big fight with them 8 years ago, tried to expose their racist bullshit. But back then I was wondering, why is Russia Today so friendly with the Tories? Why is Nigel Farage such a close colleague of theirs? And of course, Tommy Robinson, who said RT was his favorite news channel and wanted to have a news program, and that was about to happen and it didn't. So this is nothing new, actually. You know, Vladimir Putin 20 years ago was actually united with Bush and Blair and supported NATO in Afghanistan, because Moscow, despite its manipulations and posturing, is not anti-West. It has contradictions with other capitalist global powers, but actually it just wants a seat at the table with the global white man. And that's what Trump has invited back in Putin into, which Bush and Blair did before anyway. While Putin was saying very clearly to the West back then and today that he's lockstep in with the global quote-unquote war on terror, as he was genociding the Chechen people in their struggle for liberation against Russian colonialism. Indeed, if you look back at the genesis of the Russian state, it is a European colonial state positioned right here on the western side, Moscow, etc. Actually, the root of it is Kiev Rus, which was formed by Germanic and Scandinavian tribes originally. And then it starts a colonizing mission to the north, to the east, and to the south against Asian peoples. It's the Eurasian landmass, isn't it? So what we're seeing today is no kind of special or strange occurrence. And also, if you go a little bit more back in time, the political leader who did more genocidal forced national displacements than any other Israel white supremacy, genocidal white supremacy, eat your heart out, that's J.V. Stalin. He also had a union with Adolf Hitler. Now there's a lot of interesting things to be said about that. Actually, the flip from Lenin to Stalin very much internalized this kind of European aesthetic, colonial, global power, which speaks to his forced displacement largely of Muslims, but also of others, including Koreans, in the so-called Soviet Union. So what we have now is growing contradictions globally because of the nature of capitalist global competition between the leading capitalist powers, including Russia as well. And in a move to try and contain Europe, Trump is united with London, with Putin, to squeeze the world. So they're all doing the same thing. It's all the same racket. It's all genocide, racist massacres to facilitate extractive looting of mineral wealth, labor wealth, and other natural wealth. So it's really important that people are very clear. Now, 30 years ago, when I started in committing myself in the struggle against white supremacy and colonialism, 30 years ago, I wouldn't have thought necessarily that 30 years on, that European people will be under the leadership proactively of the evil empire, that is Britain and USA. But hey, that's where we are. Now, unfortunately, there's no real pushback in the world, and there's definitely no pushback within Western states and the Russian state itself, actually. And what Western populations are increasingly desperate for, and they're very vocal about this, and then letting it known in terms of their votes, they want violent, forced deportations of the entire non-European, non-white populations from the entire West. That's what we're faced with. It's really important we try to understand what's going on. I wish people all the best through all of this stuff. Eke out your happiness, eke out your joys, because no one's going to bring it to you. And we have to really work out what's going on to try and understand, first of all, and then try and work out some solutions. Big it up, all the best. I just want to big up Peter Tosh, because I eat my idol stew like the one Peter Tosh. Got to big up Busta Rhymes and Tribe Called Quest and Fife, the Trini Gladiator, anti-hesitator. Shaheed Push the Fader from here to Grenada. Big yourselves up.